Global icons. Cultural phenomena. The 7 kings of K-pop who have conquered every chart, every stadium, and every heart across the planet. But amidst the flashing lights and deafening screams of the army, there lies a singular, burning question that haunts every interview, every live stream, and every fan sign event. A question so personal, so loaded with unspoken pressure, that it can make even the most composed superstar stutter. The question is, when will you get married? In the strictly curated world of the Korean entertainment industry, where the perfect boyfriend image is a carefully manufactured commodity, talking about marriage isn't just a casual conversation. It is walking through a minefield of contractual obligations and heavy fan expectations. Yet, we have captured 7 distinct moments where the mask slipped. We are not just looking at gossip here, we are analyzing the psychology of superstars under the microscope. From philosophical deflections that leave us questioning the meaning of love, to panic-induced comedy that highlights their eternal youth, and yes, to a certain youngest member dropping a hint so heavy it felt like a tectonic shift in the fandom. Is it possible that the wedding bells are closer than we think? Who sees themselves as a father first? Who has already picked out a baby name? And what exactly did Jungkook say that has the internet convinced he's sending a code red signal to the world? Prepare your hearts and open your minds, because we are about to peel back the layers of the biggest boy band in history to reveal the human men beneath the idol personas. Are you ready to decode the truth? Number 7. J-Hope, Jung Ho-seok. The Sunshine's professional shield, a dance of evasion and eternal dedication. We begin our journey into the heart of the Bangtan universe at number 7, with the man who has essentially trademarked the concept of joy, the group's performance leader and emotional anchor, J-Hope. When we talk about marriage and the members of BTS, Jung Ho-seok presents perhaps the most fascinating psychological puzzle of them all because his reaction is a masterclass in what we call the idol's dilemma. Picture the scene. It is the peak of their Dynamite-era promotions, a time when the entire globe was looking at them, and the questions from Western media outlets were becoming increasingly invasive, shifting from "what is your musical inspiration?" to the dreaded "are you dating?" or "when do you see yourselves settling down?" In these high-pressure environments, under the scorching heat of studio lights and the watchful eyes of millions of fans dissecting every micro-expression on Twitter, J-Hope acts as the ultimate shield. Unlike the others who might visibly panic or freeze, J-Hope's reaction to the marriage question is almost heartbreakingly professional. He doesn't just dodge the bullet, he catches it with a smile and turns it into confetti. Observe his body language during these moments. He is often the first to laugh, a loud, distinct sound that cuts through the tension, instantly signaling to the interviewer that the atmosphere is still light, even if the question is heavy. He leans forward, engaging the camera, and delivers the line that has become the golden standard of K-pop PR. "I am married to the music, or the classic. We have our army." But why does this land him at number 7? Because while it is a safe answer, the times he delivers it reveals a layer of sacrifice that is deeply touching if you look past the surface. We have to understand the background of Jung Ho-seok, the boy from Gwangju who grew up in the competitive world of street dance. In that culture, discipline is everything. You sacrifice your body, your time, and your personal life for the perfect move. He has carried that ethos into his idol life. When asked about the future, about a wife or children, J-Hope's eyes often crinkle in that trademark smile. But there is a flicker of wistfulness, a blue side, if you will, that suggests he knows exactly what he is giving up. He is fully aware that by being everyone's hope, he perhaps delays the chance to be just Ho-seok to one person. It is a profound trade-off. Let's look at the evidence from their reality shows like Times Bon Voyage Times or Times in the Soup *. When the members are cooking or playing around, J-Hope often takes on the motherly or orderly role. He cleans, he organizes, he ensures everyone is fed. This domestic competence screams husband material, yet when the topic becomes explicit in interviews, he retreats behind the persona. There was a specific moment during a live broadcast where a fan jokingly commented, "Ho-seok, marry me." Unlike Jin, who might scold the fan, or Suga, who might ask for paperwork, J-Hope just smiled warmly, offered a finger heart, and moved the conversation back to the group's upcoming performance. It was smooth, it was sweet, but it was a wall. A beautiful, diamond-encrusted wall. This reaction is Edu-tainment gold because it teaches us about the parasocial contract in the Korean entertainment industry. The idol is public property. To admit a desire for marriage is to break the fantasy. J-Hope, being the consummate professional, respects this contract more than anyone. However, we must not forget the lyrics to his solo work in Time's Jack in the Box asterisk. He explores themes of maturity, of growing up, of the arson inside him. Does this fire include a burning desire for a family? In rare, quiet moments, he has mentioned wanting to be a good father like his own dad, who is a literature teacher. He values family structure deeply. So, when he laughs off the marriage question, is he truly uninterested, or is he protecting a dream that is too precious to share with the world? The intensity of his deflection, the loudness of the laugh, the brightness of the smile might actually be directly proportional to how much he actually craves that domestic normalcy. He is protecting his heart and the hearts of his fans simultaneously. It is a balancing act on a tightrope, and he dances across it without missing a beat. He places himself at the bottom of this list, not because he doesn't want it, but because he refuses to let the public see the yearning. He keeps the door shut, not locked, but firmly closed, waiting for a time when J-Hope can retire and Jung Ho-seok can finally step into the sunlight of a private life. It is a reaction defined by selflessness. He swallows the question so the group doesn't have to answer it. He takes the hit. He is the guardian of their image, and in doing so, he remains the eternal bachelor of the public eye, the boyfriend of millions, but the husband of none. It leaves us wondering, when the lights finally go down, and the cheers fade into silence, does the smile drop? Does he look at the empty chair beside him and wonder, what if? The mystery of J-Hope's romantic future is hidden behind the brightest smile in the industry, making his reaction a poignant mix of duty, love for fans, and a silently postponed personal happiness that we can only hope he one day achieves. Number 6. RM. Kim Namjoon. The intellectual's evasion, a secret father figure in waiting, and the mystery of the phantom wedding ring. Moving up the ladder to number 6, we encounter the brain, the soul, and the absolute pillar of BTS, RM or Kim Namjoon. If J-Hope's reaction is a professional deflection, RM's reaction to the marriage question is a fascinating philosophical deconstruction that leaves interviewers both confused and charmed, effectively changing the subject without anyone realizing they've been played. Namjoon operates on a different frequency. With an IQ of 148, he understands that marriage, in the context of an idol, is a trap, so he treats it like an art installation, something to be observed, analyzed, but not necessarily touched. Why does he land at number 6? Because while he plays it cool, the evidence suggesting he is mentally and emotionally ready for a domestic life is overwhelming, creating a delicious tension between his words and his actions. Let's transport ourselves to a specific fan sign event where a fan boldly asked, "Namjoon Oppa, when will you get married?" Instead of the flustered blushing we might expect from the younger members, RM looked the fan directly in the eyes, paused for a beat that felt like an eternity, and gave an answer wrapped in ambiguity. If it happens, it happens. But right now, I'm married to the art. It sounds poetic, doesn't it? But dig deeper. This is the man who has publicly stated on multiple occasions that his dream is to be a father. Remember the collective heart attack the fandom suffered during a broadcast when he casually mentioned, "I want to be a dad so bad"? He didn't say, "someday." He said it with an urgency, a palpable longing that stripped away the idol glitter and revealed a 20-something-year-old man yearning for a legacy that isn't made of platinum records, but of flesh and blood. This Father Namjoon agenda is further fueled by the infamous baby shoe incident. Do you recall when he posted a picture of tiny, infant-sized Nike shoes he bought simply because they were cute? The internet melted down. Was it a hint, a future gift, or just Namjoon being Namjoon? This ambiguity is his superpower. He feeds the narrative just enough to keep it alive, but denies it enough to stay safe. Furthermore, we must discuss the ring scandal. There was a period where RM was spotted wearing a simple band on his left ring finger, the universal signifier of commitment. For days, the keywords Namjoon married trended worldwide. Agencies were silent. Bands were sleuthing. Was it a fashion statement? A couple ring? A promise ring? Eventually, it was clarified as just an accessory, but the sheer panic and subsequent acceptance proved something vital. The world can actually visualize Kim Namjoon as a husband. He exudes an aura of stability, of a man who checks the plumbing and reads books to his kids on a Sunday morning. This contrasts sharply with the destruction god persona of his early years. He has matured into a figure of authority and calmness, the kind of man you settle down with. But here lies the tragic irony and the edutainment lesson for today. As the leader, the burden of the group's single status rests heaviest on his shoulders. If the leader marries, it signals the end of an era. It changes the group's dynamic fundamentally. RM knows this. His evasion is not just for himself. It is an act of protection for the band's longevity. He is the captain of the ship, and the captain cannot abandon his post for a honeymoon while the ship is still sailing the high seas of global superstardom. Yet, observe his lyrics in Indigo. He sings about flowers, domesticity, the quiet moments of life. These are the musings of a man ready for a slower pace. The Namjooning lifestyle, visiting museums, riding bicycles by the Han River, observing nature is inherently a solitary but easily shared activity. It screams, ready for a partner. So when asked about marriage, and he gives that dimpled smile and talks about the beauty of the moment, he is hiding a profound truth. He is likely the most prepared of them all to handle the responsibilities of a husband, but he is the least likely to act on it because of his duty. He is the ultimate paradox, the most husband-material member who is contractually and morally bound to be the nation's leader. Every time he dodges the question with a metaphor about the universe or love, he is buying time. But one day, that intellect will find a loophole, and we suspect that when Kim Namjoon finally announces his wedding, it won't be a scandal. It will be a national holiday, a celebration of a man who waited until he could give his whole self to someone after giving his whole youth to us. Until then, we watch, we wait, and we overanalyze every ring on every finger, knowing that beneath the rapper's swagger lies a heart that beats for a simple, quiet love that he can't yet afford to claim. Number 5. Suga, Min Yoongi, the reluctant groom of the century, a global meme that became a lifestyle and the legendary request for legal documentation. We have arrived at the midpoint of our list, number 5, and things are about to get legally complicated because we are dealing with a man who has inadvertently become the protagonist of the longest-running engagement joke in pop culture history. Min Yoongi, the genius producer known as Suga. If RM treats marriage as a philosophy and J-Hope treats it as a PR hurdle, Suga treats it like a bureaucratic process that he is too tired to file paperwork for. His reaction to the marriage question is unique because he doesn't just get asked, he gets times told asterisk. The phrase Yoongi marry me has transcended the boundaries of language, geography, and logic. It is no longer a question, it is a global greeting. It appears on cardboard signs at airports. It floods the comments section of live streams where he isn't even present. Poor Jungkook can't even eat fried chicken in peace without reading a proposal meant for his young, and it has even been spotted on news broadcasts and sports events completely unrelated to K-pop. But what lands Suga at number 5 is his iconic deadpan reaction to this deluge of affection. He does not blush. He does not stutter. He looks into the camera lens with the weary eyes of a man who has lived 1,000 lives and simply says, "Bring the documents." This specific moment, captured during a live broadcast, shattered the illusion of the fantasy boyfriend and replaced it with the pragmatic life partner. It was hilarious, yes, but it was also incredibly revealing of his character. Yoongi is a realist. He grounds the fantasy in the mundane reality of marriage licenses, stamps, and legal binding. This is the man who, when asked to choose between shoes and a girlfriend, famously struggled to answer, highlighting his immense dedication to his craft. But do not let his savage exterior fool you. The edutainment value here lies in analyzing Times, why Times fans are so desperate to marry him specifically. It is the Min Stratus effect. In a world of chaos, Suga projects an aura of unshakable calm and competence. Watching him in Times in the Soup Times is like watching a survival guide for domestic bliss. He cooks with precision, he fixes broken items, he carves wood, he builds fireplaces. He is not performing husband material for the camera. He simply Times is Times capable. This competence triggers a primal instinct in the fandom: safety. We want to marry him not just because he is a rap god, but because he looks like he knows how to do taxes and fix a leaky faucet. Yet, when the topic gets too real, watch how he deflects with dry humor. During a concert in Las Vegas, the wedding capital of the world, when the "Marry Me" signs were everywhere, he smirked and said, "Welcome to Las Vegas," acknowledging the setting with a cheeky glint in his eye that drove the crowd wild. He plays along with the joke because he understands the absurdity of it. However, there is a deeper layer to this reaction. Suga has often spoken about his struggles with mental health and the darkness he has overcome. A man who has fought so hard for his own peace might protect his private life more fiercely than anyone. His deflection isn't just comedy, it's a boundary. He is telling us, I will joke with you, but my real heart is behind a glass wall. There is a melancholy to his solo persona, Auguste, that suggests a deep capacity for love, perhaps a love that has been sacrificed or lost in the pursuit of greatness. When he sings Seesaw, he describes a relationship that is tiring and repetitive, showing a nuanced, mature understanding of love's difficulties, proof that he isn't naive about romance. He knows relationships are work. So when he asks for documents, he is jokingly speeding up the process, but he is also reminding us that marriage is a contract, a serious commitment, not just a fairy tale. He sits comfortably at number 5, because while the proposals are endless, his answers remain cryptic, wrapped in layers of sarcasm and wit. He is the unattainable cat who lets you pet him for a second before biting your hand. He has effectively friend-zoned millions of people simultaneously while keeping them all on the hook. It is a psychological masterstroke. Until someone actually shows up at the High building with a stamped marriage license and a prenup, Min Yoongi remains the world's most eligible and most reluctant bachelor, forever judging us from his studio chair, while secretly, perhaps, just perhaps, waiting for someone who doesn't want to marry Suga, but just wants to sit in silence with Min Yoongi. Number 4. Jin, Kim Seokjin, the scolding king of reality, the dream of a strawberry farmer, and the most honest shutdown in history. We now cross the threshold into the top 4, landing squarely on the broad, worldwide handsome shoulders of the group's eldest member, Kim Seokjin. If Suga asks for legal documents and RM waxes poetic, Jin delivers a splash of ice-cold water to the face of delusion, and for that honest brutality, we love him. He claims the number 4 spot because his reaction to the marriage question is a fascinating psychological study in boundary setting masked as comedy. In an industry where idols are trained to feed the boyfriend fantasy until their last breath, Jin stands as the defiant outlier who famously looks at a fan asking to marry him and says, "Don't be ridiculous." It is a reaction so jarring, so hilariously blunt, that it has become legendary. But to understand why Jin reacts this way, we have to peel back the layers of the Madyung, eldest brother, burden. Being the oldest in a Korean group carries immense weight. Societal pressure dictates that he should be the first to settle down, the first to carry the family line. Yet, Jin fights this expectation with a chaotic energy that screams eternal youth. Let's dissect the famous Weverse incident. A fan posted a long, heartfelt, and somewhat delusional message about marrying him. Most idols would ignore it or type, "Ha ha." Jin replied, "Please don't say ridiculous things. It wasn't malicious. It was a reality check." He is the member who constantly breaks the fourth wall of K-pop. He reminds us, constantly, that what we see is a performance and that the parasocial relationship has limits. This honesty is actually a form of kindness. He refuses to string fans along with false promises. However, the plot thickens when we look at his domestic history. Long before the fame, back in the rookie days, Jin ran a cooking blog. He didn't just cook, he documented the process with a husband-like precision, complaining about the cost of ingredients and worrying about feeding the kids, the members. This was house husband Jin in his rawest form. He has the skills. He can fish, he can cook, he can drive, he can negotiate. He is, on paper, the most marriage-ready member of the group. So, why the aggressive deflection? It is a defense mechanism. By acting like the fake maknae, by throwing tantrums and making dad jokes, he effectively removes himself from the serious adult conversation. It is a brilliant diversion tactic. If everyone is laughing at his windshield wiper laugh, they aren't asking him about his dating life, but we must look at the wedding MC moments. Jin has hosted weddings for his close friends, and notably, his own brother. Photos from his brother's wedding show a Jin we rarely see, quiet, respectful, and deeply emotional. Standing at the altar, not as the groom but as the brother, there was a look in his eyes, a mixture of pride and perhaps a fleeting shadow of loneliness. He values family above almost everything else. His dream of owning a strawberry farm in the countryside is not just a whim, it is a vision of a slow, family-oriented future. You don't start a farm to live alone, you start a farm to leave a legacy for your children. This contrast creates a compelling narrative tension. On one side, we have the global superstar who shouts Jeon and scolds fans for proposing. On the other, we have the man who drives for hours to deliver crabs to his friends, who makes traditional wine, and who cherishes the quiet dignity of a traditional life. His solo song, The Astronaut, gave us another clue. The song is a love letter to fans, yes, but the imagery landing, finding a home, stopping the wandering speaks to a deep desire for stability. For a man who has spent his 20 seconds living out of a suitcase, marriage represents the ultimate landing. But he knows that as the visual center, his marriage would cause a seismic shift. So, he protects the fans from the inevitable heartbreak by setting boundaries times now asterisk. He trains the army to expect the no. He conditions us to accept that he has a private life that is off limits. It is a long game strategy. Every time he rejects a proposal with a joke or a scolding, he is subtly reinforcing the wall between Jin of BTS and Kim Seokjin, the person. He lands at number 4 because his reaction forces us to confront the reality of the idol industry. We can love them, we can support them, but we cannot possess them. Jin makes sure we never forget that. He is the only member who will look you in the eye and tell you that the fantasy isn't real, which ironically makes the reality of who he might eventually marry even more intriguing. Whoever that person is, they won't be marrying the idol who sends flying kisses. They will be marrying the grounded, realistic, and deeply caring man who just wants to grow strawberries and play video games in peace. And when that day comes, when the ridiculous thing becomes reality, we suspect Jin will announce it not with a fanfare, but with a simple, honest letter, finally inviting us to celebrate the happiness he has guarded so fiercely for so long. Number 3. Jimin. Park Jimin. The flirty prince of deflection, the eternal promise to ARMY, and the hidden loneliness of the moon. We enter the top 3, the danger zone of our list, where the lines between fan service and genuine longing begin to blur into a beautiful, heartbreaking haze. Sitting on the bronze throne is the man who has mastered the art of seduction, the cutie, sexy, lovely icon Park Jimin. If Jin scolds us and Suga ignores us, Jimin does something far more dangerous. He flirts back. His reaction to the marriage question lands him at number 3 because it is a masterclass in emotional manipulation in the best possible way. Jimin doesn't build a wall, he builds a mirror maze where every reflection is him loving us, distracting us from the reality that we can never truly reach the center. Let's set the scene. A fan asks, "Jimin Appa, marry me." Unlike the others, Jimin's immediate reaction is visceral. He often covers his face, his eyes disappearing into crescents, his body folding in half with shy laughter. It is a reaction that screams, "I am flattered," not "I am annoyed." But then comes the verbal parry. He leans into the microphone, his voice dripping with honey, and says, "But we are already married, aren't we?" Or, "I belong to ARMY." It is the perfect answer. It satisfies the fan's fantasy while completely sidestepping the question of his actual, real-world future. He uses the intensity of the parasocial bond to shield his private desires. This is idol psychology 101. And Jimin is the valedictorian. However, to truly understand the weight of this reaction, we must dive into the edu-tainment aspect of Jimin's persona. The perfectionist's loneliness. We know Jimin as the member who stays latest at the practice room, the one who is hardest on himself. This drive for perfection extends to his love life. In rare candid moments, like in the docu-series Times Break the Silence asterisk, Jimin has expressed a profound sense of isolation. He talks about going home to an empty apartment after hearing thousands of people scream his name. The silence is deafening. When he is asked about marriage, there is a micro-expression that flashes across his face before the idle smile takes over a look of genuine curiosity mixed with fear. He seems to wonder, "Can I have that? Is that allowed for someone like me?" We must analyze the evidence of his fatherly instincts. While V is vocal about kids, Jimin is the silent caretaker. Watch him with the younger members or with children on variety shows. He has a gentleness, a tactile need to comfort and hold that screams future dad. But unlike V, he doesn't broadcast his family plans. This secrecy makes his placement at number 3 crucial. He guards his heart fiercely. The marriage he talks about with fans is safe. It is abstract. A real marriage is messy, concrete, and potentially damaging to the angel image he has cultivated. Let's look at his solo debut album, *Face*. The tracks Like Crazy and Alone paint a picture of searching, of trying to fill a void. I'd rather be lost in the lights, he sings. Is this a confession? Is he telling us that he chooses the stage because the alternative, trying to find a real partner in his chaotic life, is too painful? The marriage question forces him to confront this trade-off. His deflection is soft, it is sweet, but it is tragic. He offers himself to the millions to avoid choosing just one, because choosing one means disappointing the millions. Furthermore, we have to talk about the ring incident, not a scandal, but a design choice. When Jimin designed his artist-made collection, he created a hoodie and earrings, but not just any earrings. He spoke about the red carving, the detail. He has an eye for jewelry, for symbols of commitment. Fans have noticed that Jimin often wears rings on his marriage fingers, sparking mini heart attacks every other week. He knows the power of these symbols. He plays with them. He wears the commitment of the fandom on his skin, literally with his tattoos, blurring the line between his public and private self. But the most telling reaction comes from his interactions with his own father. The famous Magnate Cafe in Busan, run by his dad, is a shrine to Jimin, but it is also a testament to the strong family unit he comes from. He calls his dad constantly. He has a model of a supportive, loving husband right in front of him. He knows what it looks like. So when he giggles and tells a fan, "You're too young," or "Ask my dad," he is deferring the responsibility. He is terrified of the shift. Jimin lands at number 3 because his reaction is the most romantic deception. He makes us feel like we times are the ones he is waiting for, all while hiding the very real, very human man who probably just wants someone to hold his hand when the cameras are off. He feeds the dream to starve the rumors. It is a beautiful, glittering performance of availability that hides a fortress of solitude. He is the prince who promises to marry the kingdom, so he never has to choose a princess, leaving us all swooning, but leaving him, ironically, the most elusive bachelor of them all. We laugh at his flirty deflection, but deep down, we wonder, who will be the one to finally make the angel retire his wings and walk down the aisle? The answer is locked behind that crescent eye smile, and he isn't giving us the key anytime soon.
Number 2. V. Kim Taehyung, the romantic architect of a future family. The man who named his unborn children, and the idol who isn't afraid to say "I do." We've reached the runner-up spot. Number 2. And the atmosphere shifts dramatically from evasion and deflection to a warm, golden embrace of reality. If the other members are trying to hide their desire for marriage behind jokes, business, or philosophy, Kim Taehyung, the visual god known as V, is standing on the rooftop shouting it to the world with a box of chocolates in one hand and a baby carrier in the other. He takes a silver medal not because he is hiding a code, but because his reaction to the marriage question is the most shockingly open, honest, and devastatingly specific of them all. V doesn't just want to get married. He has a blueprint, a timeline, and probably a Pinterest board dedicated to it. This is the man who, when asked about his dream for the future, didn't say Grammy winner or world domination. He said, "I want to be a father like my dad." That sentence alone sent shockwaves through the industry. In the K-pop world where idols are commodities of eternal youth, V's mission was a rebellious act of normalcy. He shattered the forever boyfriend illusion by introducing the future husband reality. But let's dig into the Edu-tainment details of why this is so profound. V's psychology is rooted in deep familial connection. He has consistently cited his father as his role model, not just as a man, but specifically as a parent, someone who plays with his kids, listens to them, and supports them. When the fifth talks about marriage, his eyes don't panic. They soften. He enters a dream state. Remember the specific interview where he casually dropped that he wants 3, maybe 4 or 5 kids? He didn't stutter. He has thought about the logistics. He wants a chaotic, loud, love-filled house. This isn't a vague wish. It's a life goal that seems to take precedence over his celebrity status. We must analyze his interactions with children to truly understand the depth of this desire. At fan signs, when a fan brings a baby, V ignores the cameras, the staff, and the schedule. He zeroes in on the child. The way he holds a baby isn't the awkward hold of a celebrity doing a photo op. It's the natural, confident hold of a man who is ready. He makes faces, he plays peekaboo, he lets them touch his face. These moments go viral, not just because they are cute, but because they feel like a glimpse into a future that is rapidly approaching. V's solo era layover further cemented this narrative. The album is a masterpiece of slow, jazzy, domestic romance. The visuals walking his dog Yeontin, lounging in a messy room. The vintage aesthetic are not high-octane pop star imagery. They are Sunday morning with the husband vibes. He is curating an aesthetic of domesticity. He is telling us, through his art, that his ultimate happiness lies in the quiet. Slow moments of life. The kind you share with a partner. Even his song Blue Orpheus speaks of a longing, a need to be with someone. It's a departure from the I love army generalization to a more specific, intimate type of love. And let's not forget the famous names incident. In a moment of unguarded honesty, he mentioned names he likes for his future children like Kim Tae. Who does that? Who has names picked out unless they are actively visualizing that future? This level of specificity is terrifying for the possessive fan, but healing for the supportive one. It forces the fandom to mature. V is essentially training us to let him go. His reaction to marriage questions is a gentle but firm educational process for the army. I love you, but I also love the idea of us, me and my future wife. He doesn't apologize for it. When asked when he wants to marry, he has hinted at standard ages. Never pushing it to a distant maybe in my 40s. He seems to operate on a timeline that is personal, not professional. This authenticity is why he is at number 2. He isn't playing a game. He isn't using the question for clout. He is simply a man who happens to be famous, who desperately wants the normal things in life. The Parisian prince vibe, he often sports the trench coats, the jazz barzies, the ultimate romantic archetype. He wants the movie-style romance, the long walks, the growing old together. His reaction tells us that for V, BTS is his youth, but family is his forever. The clue here isn't a secret code. It's a billboard. He is showing us exactly who he is. While others might hide a ring, V might just show up one day with a wedding band and say, I told you so. He prepares us with every jazz track. With every baby photo he likes on Instagram, and with every story about his dad, he is the member who will likely have the most traditional romance novel wedding, and he won't hide it, because to him, love is nothing to be ashamed of. It is the ultimate achievement. So, when V smiles that boxy smile when asked about marriage, know that he isn't thinking about avoiding a scandal. He is thinking about the nursery color scheme. He is the heart of the group, and his heart is already set on a home. Number 1, Jungkook! Jungkook! The Golden McNay's ultimate transformation. The secret dynasty of Chunseol and Chunyul, and the hardest code that shook the world. We have arrived at the summit. The absolute peak of our list, and it belongs to none other than the the global pop phenomenon, Jeon Jungkook. If the other members gave us hints, evasions, or philosophical musings, Jungkook has essentially handed us a roadmap, a compass, and a packed suitcase for his future married life. He takes the number 1 spot because his code Keras hard hint is not just a single moment. It is a comprehensive, multi-year campaign of subliminal messaging that has transformed him from the shy boy who feared girls into the most dangerous husband material on the planet. To understand the magnitude of Jungkook's reaction to the marriage question, we must first appreciate the Edu-tainment arc of his development. We watched him grow up. We saw him enter the industry at 15, a child with big doe eyes, terrified of the opposite sex. But the Jungkook of today, he is a different beast entirely. The code Keras began not with a word, but with a lifestyle shift. Think back to his Weverse lives in 2023 and 2024. While other idols use live streams to promote albums or do perfectly curated Q&As, Jungkook turned on the camera too. do his laundry. He folded underwear. He washed dishes. He cooked intricate meals like makutsu and sujuk with a precision that would make a Michelin star chef weep. Why is this a marriage code? Because he is dismantling the idol prince archetype. He is showing us in real time that he is not a man who needs to be taken care of. He is a man who takes care of the home. He is broadcasting his domestic competence to the world. He is screaming without saying a word, I can feed you. I can clean for you. I can build a home with you. This is the psychological priming of the audience. He is normalizing the image of Jeon Jungkook, the house husband. But the true Keras, the moment that solidified is spotted number one, lies in the specific, terrifyingly detailed plans he has revealed about his future lineage. While V dreams of a happy family, Jungkook has already named the dynasty. In a moment of casual candor that sent the internet into a tailspin, Jungkook revealed the names he wants for his future children: Chun Seol, Legend, and Chun Yul, Chills, Rhythm. Pause and reflect on the weight of this. He hasn't just thought about maybe having kids, he has crafted their identities. He wants his child to be a legend. He wants his child to give people chills. This is not the whimsical daydream of a boy. This is the ambition of a patriarch in the making. He has visualized the legacy he wants to leave behind, and it is a legacy of flesh and blood, not just music. This revelation changes everything. Every time he sings a love song now, we hear it differently. Look at his solo debut, Golden. The tracks 7, 3, D, and Standing Next to You are not subtle. 7 days a week, every hour, every minute, every second, I'll be loving you, right? This is a manifesto of endurance. It is a promise of a love that withstands the exhaustion of celebrity. The music video for 7 saw him fighting storms, floods, and death itself just to be with his partner. That acting wasn't just acting. It was a projection of his tenacity. He is telling us that when he falls in love, he falls hard, and he does not let go. He is the Ian character. He jokingly created the cool, confident Gaiba, grounded in the reality of a man who raises a Doberman. Speaking of Bam, we cannot ignore the dog dad factor. The way he trains Bam, the way he talks to him with that gentle, firm voice is a direct preview of his parenting style. He is patient, affectionate, and protective. When he calls himself Dad to Bam, he is testing the waters. He is wearing the title to see how it fits, and let's be honest, it fits him perfectly. But let's go deeper into the code. There was a specific Weavers Live where he addressed the girlfriend rumors. He said, I don't have a girlfriend. I just have army. It was a relief to many, yes. But analyze the tone. It wasn't the panicked denial of a rookie. It was the confident assertion of a man who is currently single by choice because he is focused on his golden era. But who knows exactly what he wants when the time comes. He controls the narrative now. He is no longer the victim of rumors. He is the master of his own story. And then there is the ring placement. Jungkook, the king of accessories, has often worn rings on that finger. While he claims they are fashion, he knows the semiotics of it. He enjoys the thrill, the question mark he plants in our heads. He is teasing us with the possibility. The ultimate code Keras came when he spoke about his ideal type in recent years, someone who is healthy, smart, and competitive. He wants an equal. He isn't looking for a fan. He is looking for a partner who can keep up with his golden pace. The sheer intensity of his desire to be good at everything but cooking, painting, singing is actually a desire to be the perfect provider. He is optimizing himself. He is building the ultimate version of Chun Jungkook so that when he does meet the mother of Chun Seol and Chun Yul, he is ready to give them the world. He lands at number 1 because he scares us the most. He scares us because we can see it happening tomorrow. We can see him eloping. We can see him dropping a surprise album dedicated to his wife. He is unpredictable, passionate, and fiercely independent. The code Keras is this. Jungkook is not waiting for permission to get married. He is simply waiting for the person who deserves the 7 days a week devotion he has been stockpiling in his heart. He has the names, he has the skills, he has the house, he has the dog. The only thing missing is the bride. And when he finds her, he won't ask the world for approval. He will simply introduce her as the final piece of his golden puzzle. The transition from baby bunny to head of the household is complete in his mind. And that certainty, that absolute unshakable readiness, is the loudest, hardest code he could possibly send. He is ready. The question is, are we?